Welcome to the Grow My Cleaning Company podcast with your host, Mike Campion. If you are passionate about the cleaning industry, you are in the right place. Love what you hear? Spread the word and tell the cleaning world this is the place to be. Want more? Check out www.growmycleaningcompany.com for free online video trainings, free ebook downloads, free blog posts, and of course, all the podcast episodes. Everything you need to grow your cleaning company is at www.growmycleaningcompany.com. And now, on with the show.
Hello, Cleaning Nation. So glad to be with you once again. Welcome to the place that you will find everything you need to build the cleaning company that you've always wanted. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, if you've got questions for me, or you want to hire me to speak at your next event, all of these things can be had through our amazing producer, Natalie. You can get a hold of her at N-A-T at growmycleaningcompany.com, or just give us a call directly, 480-648-5149. We absolutely love hearing from you, Cleaning Nation. Highlight of our day. Today, we are doing a special cabin edition up in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. So all of you on YouTube, hello, and enjoy the cool background. Everyone on the podcast, sorry for wasting 7.5 seconds of your time. Also, we are chatting with Larado Bulkley from Advantage Cleaning Services. Advantage has been serving the upstate New York area. I just learned that means no accent, with commercial cleaning services since 2008. If you want to reach out to Larado and his team, you get a hold of them at www.acs for Advantage Cleaning Services, acsfacilities.com. Larado, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Cleaning Nation. How are you?
So good to have you on. I think my voice I'm 42 years old. I think my voice literally just cracked on the last sentence. So I don't, I'm getting a little sick. My apologies if I sound like a 14-year-old for the next couple minutes.
Okay, outstanding. Well, we move on.
Well, enough about me and my ridiculous cracking voice. Let's hear about you, my friend. How did you get into the cleaning business? Take us just through your journey of start to finish in the next couple minutes, if you would.
Sure. So my wife and I are co-owners of this business, and we met while selling cars at a local dealership. I had a couple other small businesses at the time, and she kept inquiring about how to do that and made some silly ego-driven bet with her that she could pick any kind of business she wanted and we would be successful within year one. And she said cleaning, and I thought I was going to die.
I was actually thinking she should have given you a harder one. That's an easy business to succeed in. She kind of gave you a layup, my friend.
Well, easy business to get in, absolutely. It's not what I wanted to do. I had all kinds of ideas of what the business was, and they were just myths, just silly stuff.
Well, actually, let's hit that because a lot of our listeners, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's certainly a percentage or a population that are just about to get in the cleaning business, thinking about getting in the business. Give me a couple of the things the myths that you had about the cleaning business and what your kind of real life experience has been since then.
Sure. I looked at it as, just cleaning toilets. And I thought to myself, that's not what I want to do. There's a lot more interesting things to do in this world. I thought the industry was just built of a lot of sort of like trunk slammers, folks that I guess they're just having a hobby and making a little money or something. And I just didn't view it as a professional field. And in any case, we made like $44,000 in 4.5 months from day one, and I was blown away. I was making that and maybe a little more in some of my other businesses, and that was all. And some of them I had owned for a few years. I just couldn't believe that there was that kind of demand for a professional organization in our area.
You know what? You might win Story of the Year. I love that story. So what I hear you saying is you didn't do the research and kind of get into this business because you had some sort of strategic thought. You made a bet with your wife, and she tried to stick it to you and stuck you with the cleaning business.
And I won.
And the crazy thing is, that's awesome, man. That is so fantastic. And 8 years later, it seems like you're doing well. How many employees do you have nowadays?
I think we have 13 or somewhere between 13 and 16. We hired a few new ones last week.
It's the cleaning business, my friend. That number is ought to change on a daily basis.
Correct, and that's why I'm saying that is there was some personnel change in last week.
We'll call it more than 10, less than 20, but that's pretty good after just after such a fast start. That's awesome. All right. Well, I would love to give you some value back. What's going on in your world that I can help you with today?
Well, sure, thanks. Well, basically, what we've done is we create a strategic partnership with our local supplier. And currently, a couple of things that they do for us is they go on walkthroughs when we get a new opportunity, helping us to try and sell that supply list, giving us other pointers that they may have, something we may have overlooked. Even lighting on some of these sites is becoming an issue with that, the whole new LED systems. And then another thing we do is on our larger anchor sites, they go through and they actually do the inventory for us and the ordering for us on a monthly basis. And on those sites, they also pick up, when they're dropping off supplies, they pick up our laundry, our dirty microfibers and mop heads, and they drop them back off at our office to clean. And what I wanted to see is if there are a few other items that I'm leaving on the table, additional items that we should be seeking out with that relationship. For them, the win-win is that they get to go into accounts they had never been in before because we're marketing to our people. They get a free ride, for that portion of it.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm going to actually back it up for the rest of Cleaning Nation and make sure they're all on board. And then you and I will go forward together. First and foremost, I want everyone to get the question that he's asking. So he's already kind of assumed that you're doing some things really right. And I want to make sure for people that aren't doing that, they don't go, oh, well, this podcast isn't for me, or, old Larado doesn't know what he's doing. Quite the opposite. The foundation, so many of the people I talk to when they start are like, well, I get this from Costco and this from Cost Plus and this, I got my and they're just trucking around, they save a nickel on pledge and they spend 6 hours a month chasing supplies, which is insanity. So what I always say is find a supplier. And so then the first thing they goes, well, I'll find a supplier and then just grind that person or that business down for the cheapest prices I can get. And I always say, nope, don't do that. Yes, find a supplier. Yes, give them all of your business so you're not going to Costco and, that's where people go to shop for personal cleaning supplies. You're a professional business. You purchase at a professional business place. Do not grind them for the cheapest price that you can get. On the flip side, grind them for the most service that you can get. So pay whatever price. And again, make sure they're reasonable. You got to shop and make sure you're not paying 30, 40% more. But if they're 5% more here and 3% less there, but generally their prices are in range and they're not taking advantage, don't even worry about price. Be that customer that says, don't worry, I want to pay upfront. I'll pay better. I'll pay. That's fine. But what I'm looking for is for us to have a strategic alliance, a relationship that's mutually beneficial. I'm giving you all my business. I don't have 6 other suppliers. I don't buy a thing at Costco. I don't care if you're a nickel more expensive on pledge. You will get all of my business. The more that you help me grow, the more I'll be able to buy from you. All I ask in exchange is you help me grow to the best of your ability. So Larado's already there. I just wanted to catch Cleaning Nation up with that, with starting with the right place and the right foundation of what questions to ask. So now that you're a Larado spot, and it sounds like they're already doing some nice perks for you with the kind of dropping off the laundry, coming on bids is really smart. I like that. I like that a lot. It makes you seem like more of a professional. It doesn't make you seem like you are more of a professional, and you appear to be so when you bring consultants or other people that are going to help you with that. That's a great thing. The things that you can go forward on that would be labor and training. Those are the 2 things I'm looking for. So I would have a relationship, a kind of a handshake agreement. This is obviously isn't a written deal, but just to know, like, hey, hopefully I'm one of your better customers. I treat you better than most of your other customers. When talent comes a knocking and somebody quits, and because these guys sell to everybody in town, right? All the real professionals buy from a professional sanitary supply, not Costco. So when good talent comes around, these guys often know about it before anyone else. And I would very much like for him to say, oh my gosh, you got to meet Larado. This guy's got the best operation. He's who you want to talk to. And all of a sudden, I get the best talent before it even becomes available. So that would be the first and foremost place I'd try and kick that up. Do you have any relationships or discussions like that so far with your company, Larado?
I had just talked to them a little bit about if they come up with any new ideas for like an employee attraction system, just to throw them out to us, because we do a lot of really cool things in that area as well. But I'd never thought of some of the more professional talent, like we're currently looking for a production supervisor. That really would be a good resource for us. I hadn't thought of that before.
Yeah, and it works a little bit on the cleaner. Like if you can find a cleaner, great. But it really gets leveraged, like you said, on kind of the upper management folks where you're looking for specific talent. And then, of course, best practices. Absolutely. If they've got any best practice, whether it's employee attraction or customer attraction, again, these guys serve everybody and they know who buys what. And guess what? The guy that buys the most cleaning supplies is probably the most successful owner of a cleaning company. So I would definitely be looking for best practices in terms of, hey, the guys and gals that are successful and the guys and gals that aren't. Tell me what the successful people are doing. Let me kind of model those best practices. So that's the second way. The third way would be training for equipment and supplies. A lot of times if they've got like a newfangled, like, hey, we've got an auto mix system that we can install in your thing and it's new fancy, they got all sorts of cool stuff. Most of the time they've got either they can do the training, or more often they've got the company rep that they work with that's really pushing this stuff. And a lot of times you can get free training sessions set up for your people through those people. And again, it benefits them because the more that you and your people are trained on it, the more likely that you're going to go to buy. So talent would probably be the first thing. Training would be the second. All the things that you're talking about, of course, are table stakes in terms of, can you do some deliveries and can you automate the system? And again, doesn't sound like Laredo's spending any time or effort or very little on how much pledge do we have, or Windex or ammonia or stripper or whatever I say pledge, obviously I'm being a little facetious, but Laredo doesn't do that. He offloads that to the professionals that are working with them. I've got one more big one. Actually, two more big ones, and then we'll move on. The other big one I would say is I'm always a huge fan of strategic alliances. What I'd like to do, and it won't work with them, we'll talk about how it would work with someone else, is you said it exactly right. They get a free ride to all the people that you're working with, right? You introduce them to your customers, and even if they switch janitorial companies, they might keep a supply company, correct?
Correct.
I would look for the reverse. I would reverse engineer that bad boy right now. Hey, what people do you do supplies for? They're looking for new janitorial companies. I'm introducing you to mine. Please introduce me to yours. Does that make sense?
It certainly does. It's absolutely.
Yeah. And you got to be a little discreet on that, because you're not asking them to try and actively sell against their current customers. That would be totally unethical. But again, just like if somebody's lead, you're not saying, hey, let's say the guy you're working with, his name is John. Hey, John, go tell all the top talent of my competitors that are your customers to quit and leave and come to me. Totally unethical. But keep your ear to the ground. And when good talent says, I'm leaving either way, for crying out loud, introduce me. Same thing with the client, right? If a client's like, I'm pissed and I'm leaving, keep your ear open for that and make an introduction when appropriate. So you got to be a little more careful with this one than with others. But I'll give you an example of what that could look like outside of that, which is really powerful. Find another company that serves your same customer and build a strategic alliance with them. So having owned lots of different businesses, I found, and from manufacturing to I had a car dealership to cleaning companies, I've had two vendors in just about every company, no matter what kind it was. I had a CPA that did my taxes, and I had an insurance guy that provided my business insurance. If you find guys that specialize in janitorial in companies, you can go to them and say, hey, I have a bunch of companies that need CPAs, and you have a bunch of companies that do janitorial. I will market all of my janitorial work to your company. I will tell all my customers to use you as a CPA if you tell all of your customers to use me as a janitorial company. That's how a straight up strategic alliance can work. And you don't have to worry about, poaching each other's customers, or, it's a little more delicate when it's your supply company. But do you see how that works with a strategic alliance that's not a supply company?
Sure. And in both of those cases, we've worked with the same vendor since inception, and we have great relationships with our CPA and our insurance company.
Yeah, and if you want to take that up a notch, what that would look like is you could write a letter from your CPA. So you write it. Say your CPA, again, his name is John. You go, hi, John Johnson and Associates, CPA. You would write a letter from John. Hey, customers, I just wanted to tell you about my good friend Larado with the cleaning company, and here's a special deal I've worked out just for my customers. If you want it, so you would write it for him, and he would send it out. You would write it for him in his voice, and he would send it out to his customers on your behalf. And then if you really wanted to kind of roll out the red carpet, you could also obviously write a letter from you to your customers on his behalf. But basically, you do all the heavy lifting and just let him kind of hit send or okay you sending the message in direct mail and just kind of provide you the numbers. That's a great way to go.
Sure, that sounds like a great idea. I hadn't thought of that.
That's why we do this thing every day, man. There's new ideas all the time. All right, I think as it goes from, we talked about training, we talked about best. Yeah, I think that's it. Any other questions or thoughts before we hit the lightning round, my friend?
No, except that about 4 years ago, this idea was suggested to me, and because it took effort, I kept putting it off, and only started a short while ago. And I just can't tell you the value in doing this. So all I can do is encourage anyone that has a commercial cleaning company, whether it's carpet cleaning or janitorial, building services contractors, whatever, they should be doing this.
And honestly, it's a lot more powerful with commercial cleaners, but residential cleaners, same thing. You do not get a free pass to go to freaking Costco to buy your supplies. You should still be buying from a real live commercial janitorial supply company. So yeah, you're right. The leverage and the value, the return on your time investment is going to be greater for commercial, but residential, you are not left out. This goes for you too. Oh, that is the other thing I wanted to mention. So we talked about relationships and strategic alliances with your janitorial supply company. We talked about how you could expand that outside of that. The one other piece I want to talk about is associations. There's a lot of value in associations. And the main association in our universe is the ISSA, which I think is the International Sanitary Supply Association. So if you want to meet, where can I meet this guy? How do I know? The ISSA, if they're a member of that, they're probably a better fit for you in Canada. It's the CSSA. We've had them both on the podcast. I'll make sure I link to both of those episodes here. But that's another awesome strategic alliance that you can find. You can find strategic alliances within that, and then B, just being a member of that is another form of a strategic alliance, which I highly recommend. Any thoughts on that before we hit the lightning round, Larado?
Sure, we're members of the BSCAI, the IICRC, and the WCRA and the MGMA. We just joined the Medical Group Management Association the other day, so that we can kind of add more value to our medical commercial cleaning customers.
Man, hit me with, that's a lot of A's. Hit me with those associations again, because I'm gonna do my best to put a link to each of them. Go ahead.
Okay, so the BSCAI is the Building Services Contractor Association International. It's like the ISSA, but it's really very specific to commercial cleaning companies and like security companies at about $500,000 plus in revenue.
Cool.
That's what it's designed for. Great education, just like the ISSA. And then the WCRA is the Window Cleaners Resource Association. We get a lot of good stuff from those folks. We're firm certified through the IICRC, which is a third-party certification form for carpet cleaning, water damage, things like that. And then the MGMA is very specific to medical groups, so it's the Medical Group Management Association, and we joined that specifically because we're focusing all of our marketing on marketing to medical facilities. Even though we do some others, we spend all our marketing dollars on that. And so we thought we'll be able to take some good educational material from that association, because they have tons of it, and offer that out in our monthly letters and newsletters to our medical clients and prospects.
Beautiful. And it's so funny that you're one of the guys that's kind of lined in terms of understanding the value of the relationship with your janitorial supply company. I'm not surprised at all when I bring up an association. You're like, oh yeah, we're a member of 5 of them. That is so... exactly what you said. It's the difference between what you said about the trunk slammers, guys and gals that just have a vacuum and a squeegee in the back of their trunk, and a quote unquote a real business. These associations are a big part of that. The last one we didn't mention, just because since we got all of them, I want to make sure we get in there, is BOMA, the Building Owners and Managers Association. If you want to sell to property managers, right, that is the place to be. All right, let's hit. Hey, thank you for sharing that, Larado. That's awesome. Honestly, I've not heard of or dealt with the MGMA before. So I love when I do podcasts and I'm like, man, I'm trying to teach, I'm learning something. So thank you for sharing that, my friend.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, let's hit the lightning round. Since you did so good in the first part, we'll give you the opportunity to answer 3 quick questions and give lots of value to Cleaning Nation. Question number 1, what's the best advice you've ever received, professional or personal?
The best advice I ever received was to pick a niche and stick with it. But I didn't follow it.
Well, no, you know what? You said that first thing you said is we spent almost all of our dollars on advertising dollars on medical. That's a niche, my friend. And I'm okay with saying, hey, we're only going to focus on this.
That's what we do now.
Yeah. All right. But you're getting
that's
there.
what we do now.
Okay. So you not always followed it.
We had a carpet cleaning business and a residential cleaning business. And I literally shut them down just to focus on this because it was just silly trying to run 3 moderate-sized businesses all at the same time.
Good Lord, I'm going to record that and play it as a soundbite. I'm constantly coaching my people to do that, and they're constantly scared that I'll go broke or I won't. I know we're in the lightning round, but that's such a big thing, and I'm so lazy. I want to save myself some time. What do you say to the people that I'm coaching? I'm going to let you do my job for me. My clients that I'm going, hey, Larado, cut it out with the residential and the commercial, and I do this and move in and move out and apartment company, whatever, and detailing and power washing and window. And I say, Larado, cut it out, or you tell me. So coach me against that. Tell me why that doesn't work. And I'm scared. Like if I quit all this stuff, I'll lose all my customers and I'll go broke. What do you say to that, Larado?
Well, what I can say is we had a great maid service going. And then I decided janitorial would be great. And I decided carpeting would be great. And I was going to create franchises in all 3. And so when you're trying to set up systems for each and every one,
yep.
When you're trying to train people who work different hours and do different tasks for each and every one, it's insane. And so what I did is I did them all okay instead of doing something really, really well, and wasted a lot of energy, was super frustrated. It almost cost me my marriage, which is not worth it.
No.
So don't do it.
Man, you know what? You've been on the show like one time. You're already gunning for my job. You said it far better than I could say it. Well done, my friend. All right. Let me hit you with the second lightning round. That was really good. I'm off topic because you're crushing it. Question number 2. What's the biggest mistake you've made in the cleaning business so we can learn from your mistakes?
Doing too many things, being too wide as a company. And one additional thing is really paying attention to self-limiting beliefs and thinking, which is what led to going wide. Really believing in myself and believing in the people around me and stepping forward without fear is what really got me through that mistake.
Man, thank you so much for sharing. Cleaning Nation, you can pay me a bunch of money to learn this stuff, or you can just listen for free to Larado and save yourself the headache. Last question, my friend. What's one idea that Cleaning Nation can implement right away? It can be business or personal, big or small, just something that's immediately implementable.
Well, it is you, okay? You talk about this yourself as well as many other experts, but whatever your core culture is and your core values are, design everything around that. Every decision that needs to be made on a daily basis needs to be checked against those values and culture, because it'll save you more money, it'll save you more time, and you'll have less frustration if you just do that from Jump Street, as opposed to I don't know, trying the next shiny new object or idea. I guess that's it.
When you say it as well as that, you don't need to go on, man. You absolutely crushed it. Larado, thank you for sharing your experiences, your passion, your desire to grow. I appreciate you. I know the Clean Nation out there got a lot of value and they appreciate you. When you want to check out Larado's show notes page, and I'll put links to all the stuff that we talked about and discover everything you need to grow your cleaning company, it's all at growmycleaningcompany.com. Leave your questions, your comments, your remarks. I will see you there.
Congratulations! You are now 16% smarter. Still can't get enough cleaning goodness? Go to www.growmycleaningcompany.com for more of the good stuff. Ever want to be rich and famous? Owners of cleaning companies as well as industry experts can apply to be featured on the show by emailing our producer Natalie at support@growmycleaningcompany.com. Until then, don't miss out on all the latest cleaning industry lovin' at www.growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now.